Hey everyone, this is Ryan. I'm here to make a new video. It's been a while since I've made a video, so I just wanted to say hello to everyone. I started a full-time job, so I've been busier than usual. That's why I haven't made any videos about big tech or censorship, but I've also been working on my book. My book is almost finished. So yeah, we're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to talk about the Minnesota riots, the Derek Chauvin trial, some of the recent big tech censorship that's been going on. So let's get started. So let's talk. First off, let's talk about some of the Minnesota riots. So we know that there's a lot going on in Minnesota right now. There's rioting in the streets. There's looting. So let's look at some of these stories. Fox News: riots, protests in Minnesota, Chicago. So it looks like there was another police shooting, and people are rioting and destroying buildings because of it. So these are some of the riots in Minneapolis about George Floyd. And this week is also the trial for the police officer Derek Chauvin, who was there when George Floyd died. Sorry. So yeah, these are some of the images from the riots. So let's look at Andy No. He's talking about some of the riots in Portland, but it's funny how the journalists try to shape the narrative. So this is fascinating. So now the journalists are saying that when they describe the language, the word violence no longer refers to, it has to refer to a sentient being involved. So now if you destroy a building or break glass, that's no longer considered violence. So I feel like that's a kind of a funny definition for violence. So we're going to go talk more about this, talk more about the Derek Chauvin trial, some of those details, talk about Mike Lindell's new social media platform. But before we do, I want to show you my blog, my website, ryanhartwig.org. You can go here to support me. I have a foundation as well, a nonprofit, the Hartwig Foundation for Free Speech. You can make tax-deductible donations. I have a Patreon, a GiveSendGo, a PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and you can mail a check as well. So thank you so much for any support. Once again, my book's going to be out fairly soon. It's called Behind the Mask of Facebook. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And this is my Gab. If you want to follow me on Gab, it's at Real Ryan Hartwig. So let's talk about. So we got the riots going on, and generally they're rioting about police shootings and whatnot. So let's talk a little bit about the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin trial. So Derek Chauvin was this police officer here, and he was restraining George Floyd. And you can see from these diagrams, so supposedly he had his knee on his neck, and it's unclear exactly where the knee was, but a pulmonologist testified saying that George Floyd's death was caused in part by Derek Chauvin's knees pressing against his neck and back, making it impossible for him to breathe. So let's watch this video.
The work that Mr. Floyd has to perform becomes huge, because he has to, with each
hopefully you can hear that.
Beginning, you can see his conscience.
There's part of the video.
You can see slight flickering, and then...
All right, so he's also got like a lot of methamphetamines in the system, drugs. So
then you see.
Anyway, so there's a lot going on with that. Let's look at some of the diagrams from. So they're saying that his knee was pressing right there, and then so that affected the oxygen level. So here's another diagram. And so they had him there 9 minutes in that restrained position until the EMS arrived. If you want some really good sources, articles about just any topic in general, especially the Derek Chauvin trial, you can go to thefederalist.com. So this is talking about the trial of Derek Chauvin, and I didn't really see much of it this week, but I did listen to some analysis from Tim Pool about the Derek Chauvin trial. And it almost got declared a mistrial. They're going to be the jury's going to be deciding on Monday, so it might be a hung jury. But let's talk about the Derek Chauvin trial here. So, it's really important that we don't jump to conclusions. So it always happens this way, where it's basically trial by media, trial by public opinion. So a lot of people already decided that Derek Chauvin did murder George Floyd. So the police police are pretty colorblind. Like they just follow their policies. And actually, some of the witnesses for the prosecution actually said that yes, they did follow policy. Like in that situation, Derek Chauvin could have used a taser, but he chose not to. He chose the lesser amount of force to apply. Yeah, these are expert witnesses who've been in the similar type situations. So yeah, anyways, a lot going on with Derek Chauvin. Once again, here are the jurors. So there's 9 women and 6 men, 6 white women, 3 black men, 2 multiracial women, 3 white men, 1 black woman. 10 are in the age of are under the age of 50. The youngest is in their 20s. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. I mean, I feel like regardless, they're going to be rioting. It's just an excuse to riot. Let's talk a little bit about big tech censorship. So Mike Lindell, like he's been in the forefront of all these discussions about election fraud and social media, and I think he got banned on Twitter. So he wants to create his own social media platform. So it's going to ban swearing and telling lies about people. Now, like this is going to be tricky because like I did this for 2 years. I removed comments about swearing and telling lies. Now, for example, if you call someone on Facebook, for example, because I moderated Facebook, if you call someone a criminal or if you say this person's a crook, they stole money from me, that's allowed. It's a criminal allegation. Makes sense that they should be allowed. Now, if you go above and beyond and say this person's a criminal and you start swearing at them and calling them a whore or a bitch, okay, that's a little bit different. It can be taken down under certain circumstances. But what's crazy about that too is you can say, oh, you're a child molester or you touched a 12-year-old, and that's still considered a criminal allegation. So that stays up no matter what. So someone can say, oh, you touched children, and there's no way for you to get that taken down. So that's kind of an issue. So ban swearing and telling lies. I don't know about this. So his announcement might have been influenced by continuous censorship of his posts. His new platform called Frank Speech. So there's a lot of new platforms out there. I don't know about you, but I'm having a hard time keeping up with all these new platforms. Like there's a new one my friend was telling me about that he's trying to get funded. It's called Pivot. There's Parler, of course. There's PureSocial.tv, which is a friend of mine's network. Yeah, so I think right now Gab and Parler are better positioned. Oh, there's also MeWe, but Gab and Parler are better positioned to take the market share, the majority of the market share. So it's going to be called Frank Speech, set to launch on April 19th, so in 2 days. He claimed that his platform will be a Judeo-Christian platform that will follow biblical principles. People ask me, you're going to let everything go, porn, swearing, everything? I said, absolutely not. So he references the Constitution and defines what free speech is. They go by biblical principles. All right, so no swearing, no lying. Well, what's a lie? How do you define what's a lie? Like, that's the thing. It's pretty subjective. You can't use God's name in vain. All right, so this is very restrictive. Lying, yeah. So he references the 9th commandment. Another thing you can't do there is totally defame someone. Okay, so if you say Eric Metaxas did something terrible and it's now not a lie, well, okay, who determines it's a lie? Like you can't. There's no way to prove if it's a lie or not. I don't know, man. Then he says, what I'm not going to do is suppress true free speech. Okay, so once again, he's going to have his own definition of free speech. It'll probably be more restricted than Facebook. Let's talk about Florida. So Governor Ron DeSantis, he joined Rumble. He joins Rumble after big tech censorship. That's great. I think we need more mainstream politicians to join Rumble and transition away from YouTube. There's also BitChute as well. But yeah, he's joined Rumble. That's great. So the CEO of YouTube, Susan, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Wojcicki, receives free expression award. This is hilarious. So in October, as you remember, October of last year, there was a huge purge of conservative voices, all under the guise of saying, oh, they're Pizzagate conspiracy theorists. And we actually, I myself and Zach Voorhees, we launched a lawsuit against YouTube. We raised $130,000 in like 9 days. And we filed a lawsuit, an emergency injunction against YouTube back in October, early November. And my mouse just froze. I have this Razer mouse, and it's excuse me, a little bit finicky. There we go. So this is just hilarious. This is like the biggest irony I've ever seen. The YouTube CEO receives free expression award. The Freedom Forum Institute, a group which states that its mission is to foster First Amendment for freedoms for all, has given YouTube CEO a free expression award for their recognized individuals for their courageous acts of free and fearless expression. This sounds like it's off of The Onion or Babylon Bee, honestly. In a video promoting the award, Wojcicki proposed that removing content only becomes censorship when you go too far. So she doesn't think she's gone too far. We're removing content that violates our policies. You can go too far, and that can become censorship. So we've been working really hard to figure out what's the right way to balance responsibility with freedom of speech. So responsibility for her means just removing all the right-wing voices on YouTube. During an interview, she discussed how her grandfather stayed in Poland after World War II and was behind the Iron Curtain, and she saw how it was difficult to communicate with him between the Iron Curtain. Okay, so she's comparing those inside the Iron Curtain and the censorship. So she's doing exactly what like the people behind the Iron Curtain were doing. So I really don't understand the comparison there. I've just seen the real benefits that freedom of speech has as representing all people of all different backgrounds. Well, you don't really care about people who are conservatives because you ban their channels for no reason. Content that can be harmful. Yeah, because right-wingers are harmful. So yeah, this is a joke. Like, this is hilarious. So this is her talking about her award.
So excited to...
Wow, okay. Well, Instagram keeps on banning, people who are speaking out against the lockdowns and against, basically loss of freedoms due to the COVID-19 crisis. So Chris Sky, a prominent campaigner from Canada, had his Instagram account banned. I wonder how many followers he had. Does it say how many followers? So he's spoken at many anti-restriction rallies. Yeah, so it doesn't really surprise me. They're going to keep on doing that. So let me just pull up my book, Skyhorse. So I published with Skyhorse Publishing, and it's available for pre-order. It's going to be out in July, but right now it is available for pre-order. So if you just go, you search Behind the Mask. It's also on Amazon. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Amazon, but you can also pre-order it on Barnes & Noble or IndieBound or bookshop.org. So go here and I'll put a link down below. For this, and then you can go ahead and pre-order my book. I worked on this a lot the last 6 to 9 months, and it's going to be a great book. It details all the examples of censorship, and it has screenshots of when I filmed it at Facebook with the hidden camera. So thanks so much, guys. Hopefully the volume wasn't too loud. I got a new microphone, so that's good. And thanks so much for watching today. I hope you have a great weekend. On Monday, we'll figure out what happens with the Derek Chauvin trial, the Minnesota riots, and we got to keep fighting against this big tech censorship. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later.